70% of divorced men over 50 never partner again. The dating industry calls it failure to adapt. The data calls it economic self-preservation. Today, we deconstruct the attention economy that profits from your loneliness. You'll see the platform revenue model that treats your desire for companionship as extractable capital. Whether you continue participating after understanding the pricing structure, that's your calculation to make. This isn't relationship advice. This is forensic economics. The biological tax you're paying operates on these parameters. Dating apps optimize for engagement duration, not relationship formation. The longer you remain in search mode, the higher your lifetime value to the platform. Match.com's 39 million users generated predictable revenue, while men 45 to 60 lost over $1.2 billion to romance scams in 2025 alone. Not because older men lack intelligence, because platform economics rewards sophisticated fraud over friction reduction. The asymmetry is architectural. Women your age configure age filters for men 38 to 48, while you're algorithmically deprioritized unless you purchase premium visibility access. You're competing in a marketplace where male users represent 80% of the population, 90% of men execute blanket right swipes, and the average woman processes 100+ messages per week. Your accumulated assets, financial stability, property equity, experiential wisdom carry zero algorithmic weighting. Your market value exists outside the platform's measurement capacity. The University of Missouri analyzed thousands of romance scam reports in 2025. The evolving tactic? Scammers no longer create perfect personas. They now add strategic flaws, divorce history, financial struggles, vulnerability to appear authentic. The profiles targeting men over 50 most frequently claim recently widowed or divorced, master's degree, high authority profession, engineer, military, doctor, located in developed country but temporarily overseas. The average financial loss per victim, $15,000. Not because men lack intelligence, because the platforms have zero economic incentive to protect you. Your continued searching, whether with real people or sophisticated AI frauds, generates identical revenue. The data is unambiguous. You're not the customer. You're inventory. Why just improve your profile fails. The advice assumes a functional marketplace. But Silver Singles, Our Time, eHarmony, all optimized for subscription renewal, not relationship formation. Their business model collapses if you successfully exit the platform. The recommendations you followed. Professional photos. You spent $300, got 3% more views, 0 quality matches. Detailed bio. Women receive 100+ messages daily. Yours gets 6 seconds of attention. Be authentic. Authenticity has no competitive advantage in volume-based algorithms. This leads us to a deeper problem. The modern dating economy at 50+ operates on attention scarcity for men and attention surplus for women. You're playing poker at a table where the house takes 70% of chips and calls it opportunity. Let's decode the actual mechanics. The dating platform business model operates on 4 pillars. Maximize time on platform. Convert free users to premium through artificial scarcity. Maintain gender ratio imbalance. Keeps men paying. Profit equally from genuine connections and elaborate scams. You're operating inside a system where your biological drive for companionship is the exploitable resource. Recent data from dating apps shows a 20% year-over-year increase in romance scams, Q1 2025. Barclays reports the average loss for victims 61+ is £19,000. The platforms respond, not with better fraud detection,
but with premium tiers promising verified profiles, making you pay extra for the safety that should be baseline.
Men over 50 make three critical errors. Error 1. Treating dating apps like meritocracies. They're attention economies. Your career success, fitness, intellectual depth, invisible to algorithms optimizing for swipe speed and message volume. Error 2. Honesty about age and photos. Research shows 14% decrease in responses for profiles with authentic older photos. The market punishes integrity. Error 3. Investing time hoping for quality. The more time you invest, the more likely you'll accept suboptimal matches due to sunk cost fallacy. The platform knows this. It's designed for it. The biological reality. Female hypergamy represents 50,000 years of evolutionary optimization. Women screen for resource access, status markers, future provisioning capacity. Modern dating platforms haven't changed this. They've created artificial abundance for women 45 to 60 while engineering artificial scarcity for you. She can configure filters demanding higher income brackets, specific physical metrics, 6 feet 2 inches height, sub 15% body fat, full hair retention, independent of her own market positioning. The platform incentivizes this behavior. It sustains her engagement while forcing you into premium subscription conversion. The economic calculation you must internalize. Average male user 50 plus performance metrics. Platform tenure, 6 to 12 months. Monthly subscription cost, $20 to $50. Temporal investment, 200 plus hours. Second date conversion rate, 8%. Long-term partnership establishment, 23%. Inverse of the 77% statistic. Platform revenue extraction model. Annual revenue per male user 50 plus, $600 to $1,200. Gross profit margin, 85%. Retention optimization priority. Maximize search duration, minimize successful pairing. Platform profitability and your partnership formation are inversely correlated. Let that calculation settle. Here's the analysis that dating coaches won't monetize. For the majority of men over 50, the optimal ROI decision is strategic market withdrawal. Calculate your relationship tax with clinical precision. Temporal cost, 10 to 15 hours weekly. Profile optimization, message composition, coordination, date execution. Financial cost. Platform subscriptions plus date economics equals $300 to $800 monthly. Psychological cost. Rejection cycle processing, scam and counter recovery, dignity depreciation. Opportunity cost. Those resources could compound into legacy construction, wealth generation, skill acquisition. The market equation you must solve. Are you exchanging those scarce assets for equivalent or superior value? For most men, the mathematical answer is no. But there exists a failure mode most men execute. They withdraw with bitterness rather than sovereignty. Bitterness represents acceptance of the frame that positions you as defective. Sovereignty represents recognition that you're operating in a system architecturally maladapted to your demographic profile. The distinction is critical. Bitterness is internalized shame. Sovereignty is externalized systems analysis. One destroys you from within. The other liberates you through clarity. If you choose to remain in the digital dating market, operate as a private equity investor, not a desperate consumer. Rule 1. Platform portfolio diversification. Don't concentrate risk. 2 to 3 platforms maximum. Bumble demonstrates stronger identity verification protocols. eHarmony maintains superior age demographic filtering. Rule 2. Temporal Allocation Protocol. 30 minutes, twice weekly, maximum. The moment you exceed this threshold, you've transitioned from strategic participant to behavioral product. Your engagement metrics are the commodity being sold.
Rule 3. Immediate disqualification framework. Refuses synchronous video verification within 10-day window. Terminate interaction. Financial inquiry prior to face-to-face meeting. Algorithmic red flag. Exit. Profile demonstrates excessive optimization. Widowed engineer, overseas deployment, master's degree. Statistical anomaly pattern. Exit. Rule 4. Digital asset calibration. Your profile imagery requires clinical precision. Professional photography is mandatory, not for attraction maximization, but for algorithmic credibility scoring. Dating platforms use machine learning to assess photo authenticity.
3 image minimum. Primary, direct eye contact, neutral background. Secondary, social proof context. Tertiary, activity demonstration. Avoid group photos. Facial recognition algorithms penalize ambiguity. Rule 5. Algorithmic forgiveness strategy. Platform algorithms punish low engagement. If your response rate drops below 15%, you enter deprioritization. The system interprets this as low market value. Solution: archive account for 60 to 90 days. Re-entry generates new user algorithmic advantage. Rule 6. 14-day conversion deadline. Dating apps exist for calendar coordination, not extended text-based relationship development. If she demonstrates genuine interest, face-to-face meeting occurs within 14 days. Delays beyond this window indicate backup option positioning, parallel conversation management, or sophisticated long-game scam architecture.
Time is your scarcest asset. Treat calendar access like equity. Never distribute without return on investment.
Now we address the variable most men refuse to calculate. What if highest value strategy is complete market exit? Consider the alternative resource deployment. Temporal assets previously allocated to apps, redirected to martial discipline, linguistic acquisition, enterprise development. Financial capital previously consumed by subscriptions, deployed at 8% compound annual growth. Psychological bandwidth previously drained by rejection cycles, channeled into legacy architecture, knowledge transfer, creative output. The dating market operates on a foundational assumption. Life without romantic partnership equals failed masculine development. This is marketing infrastructure, not biological truth. The drive for companionship has evolutionary basis, but companionship exists across multiple structural models. Deep male brotherhood, systematically devalued in feminized modern culture. Cross-generational mentorship, providing meaning without relationship taxation. Disciplined solitude, the philosopher's competitive advantage. Execute this diagnostic. Is your partnership desire authentically generated? Or is it inherited social programming that equates your value with female validation? That question will trigger discomfort in some men. Discomfort frequently indicates proximity to suppressed truth. The biological imperative to reproduce is real, but you're 50 plus. That imperative's strategic window has closed. What remains is social conditioning telling you that your worth requires romantic validation. Reject the conditioning. Keep the consciousness. You didn't fail at dating after 50. You encountered a system optimized against your demographic success. The data shows 70% of divorced men your age never partner again. Here's the recalibration. That's not a tragedy metric.
For the majority, it represents unconscious strategic withdrawal disguised as circumstance. You've accumulated capital, autonomy, pattern recognition capacity. The biological programming to merge those assets with a partner remains operational. But biology is not destiny, and partnership is not the only architecture for a meaningful second act.
The sovereign male over 50 operates from position strength. Option A, strategic market participation. Execute with protocols. Temporal limits. Threat assessment frameworks. Treat platform interaction as calculated risk exposure with defined exit parameters. Option B, constructed solitude. Design the life that requires no external validation infrastructure. Deep work, legacy construction, the economic peace that emerges from self-sufficiency rather than companionship dependency. Option C, alternative companionship architecture. Brotherhood with depth. Cross-generational mentorship. Friendship structures providing emotional reciprocity that modern cultural programming tells men they shouldn't require or deserve.
None of these frameworks are objectively superior. They represent different resource allocation models with distinct risk-reward profiles. What separates sovereignty from compliance is conscious selection versus default programming.
If you're on dating apps because social conditioning dictates you should be at your age, that's maladaptive operating system inheritance. If you're there because you've calculated expected value and accepted market asymmetry, that's informed strategic participation. The distinction is agency versus automation. The modern dating market didn't reject you. You discovered its actual incentive architecture. Most men expire without pattern recognition. You decoded the business model. That's not failure. That's systems literacy. Your action with this information architectures the next phase. You can optimize within the system using clinical protocols. You can execute complete market exit and reallocate those resources. You can engineer alternative companionship models providing equivalent psychological returns. But what you cannot do, what this framework will never validate, is remain in an extractive system while internalizing the narrative that your inadequacy caused the extraction. You're not defective merchandise. The marketplace is poorly architected for your demographic profile. The market doesn't owe you a partner, but you owe yourself a life where a partner is a luxury enhancement, not a survival requirement. Operate accordingly. The architecture for peace after 50 doesn't require romantic partnership. It requires precise assessment of incentive structures and disciplined resource allocation. Whether you execute strategic market participation or complete withdrawal, do it with your eyes calibrated to reality and your dignity non-negotiable. The market doesn't owe you a partner, but you owe yourself a life where a partner is a luxury, not a survival requirement. I am the architect. I will see you in the next blueprint. Sovereign male dynamics, architecture for the new male era.